Good morning, Congress Cougars. How are you this morning? Hey, it's team day. I hope that means you're wearing your Chief stuff, because what other team would you wear? I've seen some interesting choices in the building this week. I've seen some teachers, maybe occasionally wearing Bears stuff. You know who you are, Mr. Harvey. I've even seen a student wearing a Cleveland Browns jersey. It's no big deal. I mean, we're just going to expel people who wear that, but we'll talk about that later. In all seriousness, guys, I'm here to talk to you about moving forward. Can you believe we are almost halfway through the year? It's crazy. Pretty soon we'll be thinking about next year. Second semester starts soon, and I just want to make sure that second semester is as smooth as it can possibly be. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to talk to the teachers, and I like to just say, what problems are we having and what do we need to fix? And after talking to the teachers, I've been made aware of a couple things that I want to get in check before second semester so we can have a great one. One of those things is cell phones. I know this year is a little bit weird. I know that we're not using our lockers. I know that means that those of you who have phones have them with you. And I think one of the things that we tried, again, it's kind of a weird year, so we've experimented with some different things. One of the things we tried was allowing people to use their phones during lunch. We know lunch isn't quite as fun as it once was, and we just wanted to kind of try that for you and see how it would work out. Unfortunately, the feedback that we're getting is that this is causing a disruption. Unfortunately, some people aren't getting off their phones after lunch. Some people are wanting to get on their phones before they even get to lunch. So I know this isn't going to be super popular with some of you, but because I want things to go smoothly, from now on, we're going to go back to no cell phones at lunch. Now, before you get too upset about that, please remember this. That was a temporary policy to begin with. I hope things are back to normal next year, and when they are, that's not something we were going to do. So I am just making the decision that from second semester on, we're not going to use cell phones. And let's be honest, we have all had way too much screen time in the past year, me included. I'm trying to get away from my phone. You should too. Lunchtime should be, even though it's a little bit different, even though we're spread out, that should be a time for us to socialize, visit with people around us. So again, no phones. That is something that you could get consequences for. If we see your phone out in lunch, we're going to politely ask you to put it away. But if you continue to get it out or you're causing issues with it, you're probably going to have to come see Dr. Smith or Mr. Van Horn or possibly me. So let's not allow that to happen. Another thing that I want to talk to you about along the same lines is Microsoft Teams. We are really lucky to have Teams. It's a really good tool, and a lot of your teachers have informed me that you prefer to communicate, especially on days when you're home, you prefer to communicate via Teams and say Zoom or other things like that. So I think we're really lucky to have Teams this year. I think it's a very powerful tool that's keeping us connected in a year when we need to try to stay connected as much as possible. That said, I'm hearing that a lot of people are kind of abusing their use of Teams. We're on it all the time. In a way, Teams has kind of become the new texting in class. People have their computers open because they're doing schoolwork, and then we're having Teams chatter everywhere that's causing a disruption. A couple things you need to understand about that. One, anything that causes a disruption in class is something that could land you in the principal's office. I like visiting with you in class. I like visiting with you in the hallways. I'd rather not have to visit with you in my office, and I bet you feel the same. So if your teacher determines that Microsoft Teams is causing a problem just like anything else, they have a discipline flow chart, and they decide if this is something they need to call home about or if they need to send my way. So please be careful. Again, I know Teams is a powerful tool, and I know that we like to use it in class, but if you're abusing it by chatting with people and maybe in another class, or maybe people who are home, or maybe even someone right across the class from you when you should be paying attention to the teacher, then really you're causing a disruption. Something else you should really know about Teams is that because it is a school app, honestly, we have access to any information that goes through there. So if a teacher suspects that you're using Teams for inappropriate reasons, all they have to do is email me, and I email someone at district office, and they can send us an entire transcript of what you've been doing on Teams. And I bet some of the conversations we've had on Teams are probably ones that you might not want me reading. So that said, let's make sure that we have a great second semester. I have talked to some of my colleagues around the district, and I can promise you that Congress has fewer discipline problems than any other middle school. That's amazing. That's because you guys are amazing. But we've got to keep it that way. And if cell phones and Teams continue to be a problem, unfortunately, there will be some write-ups. So I need you to do your part to make second semester awesome. And like I said, I want to see you. I want to talk to you in the hallways. I want to talk to you in class. But I don't want to see you down in my office. So let's do our part to squelch these two problems and make second semester amazing. So again, because it is Teams Day, the only thing I can say to close this out is go Cougars and go Chiefs!